Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anonymous World. Hope you are doing well. So in this video, we will continue our cybersecurity 101 learning path. So as you know, I'm preparing for PT1. So this is part of PT1 certification learning requirements. So in last video, we covered search skills. Okay, that was in start to cybersecurity journey. Okay, the next is Linux fundamentals. So I have already covered Linux fundamentals in my previous videos. You can watch that in by clicking this I icon. Then there is Windows 80 fundamentals. So I have already completed these rooms uh, years ago. So right now I am completing the rooms which I haven't already done. And at the end, maybe then I will cover the rooms which I already did, and there is no video available on my channel. So because I have now premium of TryHackMe because of this PT1 certification voucher. So I don't want to waste that by doing the rooms which I have already done. So let's see. Next one is command line. So I haven't done these rooms earlier. So let's go to Windows command line. We'll join the room. Okay, so it's a free room, Windows command line. So it's an easy room, introduction to Windows command line. So let's see what we will learn here. So yeah, everyone prefers a graphical user interface. Why not? Because it's a very easy to use when compared to command line. But when they master command line interface, they prefer to use CLI mode. So if someone offers you a GUI interface you are unfamiliar with, you can quickly poke around and discover a non-trivial part. Compare this with dealing with a CLI, that is a prompt. CLI interfaces usually have a learning curve. However, when you master the command line, you will find it faster and more efficient. Like people working with Linux, they mostly use command line to do all their works, and it is much more efficient and faster. So an example has been given here. How many clicks do you need to find your IP address using the graphical desktop? Using the command line interface, you don't even need to raise your hands on the keyboard. You just need to type one command and you will see your IPv4 address, IPv6 address, and any other network address if you are connected to. So let's say you want to recheck your IP address, you need to reissue the same command instead of moving the mouse pointer to every corner of the screen. Okay. And other advantages are remote management, and you can automate your tasks via CLI, and it also consumes less resources when compared to graphical user interface. So learning objective is to use of this room is to teach us how to use cmd.exe, which is the command prompt of MS Windows. We will learn how to use command line to display basic system information, check and troubleshoot network config, manage files and folders, and check running processes. You might be wondering that these are very easy tasks while we are learning that, but it is required when you are uh, in the recon phase. You want to check the information of the system you are in. Okay, so let's start the machine. So before starting this room, you should have finished the Windows and 80 fundamentals module, which was the previous module of this command lines. So start the attack box pressing start attack box button at the top of the page. The attack box machine will get in split screen view. If it is not visible, use the source split screen view at the top of the page. So start the attack box. Let me zoom the screen. Yeah. So now after once the start box attack box is started, we need to SSH into this particular machine IP, which will be visible once the machine is started using those SSH creds. So this is the IP. We need to SSH there using the username user and password TryHackMe123 exclamation mark. Okay, so now next is the step how to connect to SSH. We'll skip that. Let's see the first question. What is the default command line interpreter in a Windows environment? So we just saw that was cmd.exe. Yeah, let's wait for the machine to start. Okay, so our attack box is started. Let's do the first task, which was to SSH into this IP. So you can see we are in now user at the Adventure 2022 core. Let's go to task 2. So before issuing commands, we should know that we can only issue the commands within the Windows path. You can issue the command set to check your path from the command line. Okay. Okay. So here you can see path is equal to this line is given there. So this is our path where commands can be executed. Let's use the ver command to determine the operating system version. The terminal below shows an example output. Let's see. We can use ver, which is for version. So our version is 10.0.2034.2655. Enough warming up. Let's discover more in-depth information about the system. We can run the system info command to list various information about the system, such as information of the operating system, processor, memory, system details. Okay, so you can use system info. So these are basic commands, but comes in handy. So you can see it's loading network information, OS information, everything, and it gives a lot of details about the operating system you are on. So it gives OS name, OS version, manufacturer, configuration, build type, system boot time, manufacturer names. So it gives a lot of details. So this is an Amazon EC2 instance with T3.A.micro configuration. Okay, it gives virtual memory size, total physical memory available, and it also gives domain, login server, hotfix, whatever it is available. So before moving on, it is good to mention a couple of tricks. First, you can pipe it through more if the output is too long. Then you can view it page after page by pressing the space bar button. Okay. So to demonstrate this, try running drive query and compare it to running drive query mode. Okay. So let's see. If you run just drive query. Okay. So it was driver query at just 1 hour. So now it's correct. So you can see it's very big output. You can't just keep scroll to top and just read that. Like it is not efficient. It is not fast. So what you can do is pipe it with command mode. So it will give you a less output in one page. So you can see it gives a limited number of output in one page. You can read that, and if you want to go to next page, just enter space bar, and you can keep moving to different pages. After last page, it will just end. Okay. So there are some more commands. CLS used to clear the command prompt screen. Linux it is clear, and help provides help information for a specific command. Just like in Linux, you use man command. Okay, so let's answer the question. What is the OS version of the Windows VM? So we just saw that. Okay, let's not scroll back to the back again. You can just use ver command. It's pretty slow. I don't know why. So it's 10.0.2034.8.2655. Okay, what is the host name of the Windows VM? Let's see that system info. So the first line says the host name. It's WinServe 0224. Sorry, I missed E. Yeah. Let's go to task 3, which is network troubleshooting. So most of us are used to looking at MS Windows network configuration through GUI interface, but CLI provides many networking related commands to look up your current configuration, ongoing connection, and troubleshoot networking issues. So the most commonly used command is ipconfig. Okay, let's clear this screen. We can use ipconfig to see our IP configuration. So this is our IPv4 address 10.10.246.242. Okay, then you can also use /all command to see more information about the networking configurations. So you can see it gives more information, Ethernet adapter. Okay, So now it gives you some lease obtained, lease expired, default gateway, DHCP server details, and many more details. Now, network troubleshooting. One common troubleshooting task is checking by connecting to a server using ping. So it will when you use a ping, it sends ICMP packets and listen for a response. So you can check for ping google.com. So you can see it is pinging with 32 bytes of data, and then it got request timed out. So you can see I pinged two websites, google.com and example.com, and in both the cases, it gave me the IP address of that particular domain which I was trying to ping, but it gave me request timed out. So the packets weren't sent. Actually, it were sent, but none was received. So you can see it says packet sent 4, received 0, lost is equal to 4, which means it is not working perfectly. Whereas when you see the example, you can see the reply was coming from that particular website, and it says sent 4, received 4. So there was some problem in my system. That's why it wasn't able to ping that. Okay, so let's go to next command, which is traceRT, which stands for trace route. The command traceRT, then followed by the target name, means the domain name, traces the network route traversed to reach the target, like which network it hopped to reach the final destination, not the movie one. Okay, so let's see an example. Trace route, which is written by traceRT. Let's see, TryHackMe.com. So it tracing the route to TryHackMe.com over a maximum of 30 hops. I don't know if the output will come because it was getting request timed out for me in the case of ping also. So I assume it will be the same thing here as well. Uh, yeah, so you got the idea how it will look like. So for an example, it is tracing the route to example.com, which is the IP of 93.142.1.5.1.4. So it starts from here, which is the origin. Okay, then in between there were requests timed out, and it reached to this particular IP, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and finally at 16th hop it reached to the example.com. So let's see more networking commands. One networking command worth knowing is nslookup. It looks up for host or domain and return its IP address. So the syntax is simple: nslookup, then the domain name. So let's try this. nslookup tryhackme.com. So it gives the address. Let's take another example. Let's follow the same one, example.com. Oh, yeah, sorry, should be dot keep slash. Yeah, so we got the output. So nslookup example.com will look up for example.com using the default name server. So now there is another example. If you use nslookup, then the domain name and use an IP, it will use that name server. So for example, 1.1.1 DNS required timeout, server is get coming unknown. I don't know, maybe there is issue with my system. But as you can see an example, uh, when it is queried through 1.1.1. Server is coming as 1.1.1.1 instead of this EC2 instance server. Okay. The final networking command we will cover in this room is netstack. This command displays current network connection and listening ports. Okay, so what all connections are there in your system currently ongoing and what all ports are open. You can see that. So we can use netstat. So you can see there are 3 active connections as of now at port 22, 49801 and 49802. Okay. So if you are curious about the other option, you can use -h command, which will display help page of netstat, and you can see extra flags which you can use with netstat. So for example, -n displays all established connection and listening ports. B shows the program associated with listening port. O reveals the process ID with connections, and N uses numerical form of address and port numbers. And you can also combine all the options. Okay, so let's go to the questions. So which command can we use to look up servers physical address? So you can use ipconfig/all, which gives all the details like v4 address, v6 address, DHCP server address, everything was there. So what is the name of the process listening on port 3389? So let's use netstat, and we will use all the commands here, flags, which was given in example. Let's see. We are looking for port 3389. Okay. Okay, so this is port 3389. P3389 term service. Let's see if this is the correct one. Yeah. So term service is the name of process which is listing on 3389. What is the subnet mask? So for that we need to use ipconfig. So it's 255.255.0.0. Okay, so let's go to task 4, which is file and disk management. So now we have learned how to look for the basic system information and how to see the network configurations of the system. So now let's discover how to browse the directories and move files around. So the first command is you can use cd without any parameters to display the current drive and directory. Okay, so it is equivalent to system asking where am I, like present working directory. Okay, pwd. So and now you can view the child directories using dir. So just like ls. Note that you can use following options for dir. dir/a displays hidden and system file as well, like you see ls-la. Then there is dir-s, which is displays file in the current directory and all subdirectories, which is kind of equivalent to tree, I guess. You can type tree to visually represent the child directories and subdirectories. So Windows also have command called tree to any directory by using the cd command, cd then the directory name, and if you want to go back, just use cd dot dot. So pretty much like Linux itself. So to create a directory, you can use mkdir. To delete a directory, you use rmdir, which stands for remove directory, and mkdir is for make directory. Now working with files, you may be curious about the contents of a particular text file. So you can easily view text file with the command type. So you just have to write type and then the file name to view the content of those files. Okay. So you might want to consider more for long text file. This command will display enough text file to contain to fill your terminal window. In other words, for long text files, you can use more, like you used for driver query earlier, piping it via more. Okay, just press the space bar and pages will move one by one. Copy commands allow you to copy. Move command allow you to move the files. You can use delete the file using del or erase command. And you can use while character asterisk to refer to multiple files. For example, copy *.md. So whatever file ending with md will be considered. Okay. So now to sum up, using cd, you can move across your directories. So copy is for copying, move is for moving, mkdir is for making directories, rmdir is for removing directories. Type is used for seeing the contents of the file. And if you want to use a wildcard character, you can use asterisk to refer to the multiple files. So let's see what are the file contents in the C treasure hunt. So let's see. Let's clear the screen. If we type cd, we get our present working directory, which is C user, which is also pretty much uh, can be guessed from here. Now let's see where is that treasure file. So it says C then treasure. So we need to go back 2 times. Now we are in C. If you uh, execute dir, you can see all the available files and folders. Now there is treasure. We need to go there. Just type cd and treasure. So now we are inside treasure. We can again use dir to see available files. So now you can see we have only one directory, which is hunt. So let's go to hunt. Now again, let's see dir. So we have one file here, which is called flag.txt. To see the contents, we use type command, and you can press tab to complete the file name. You don't need to type the full file name. So yeah, we can see the content. It's thm cli underscore power. Yeah, great. Now let's move to last task, which is task and process management. So now you might have opened task manager many times in your Windows system. So now let's see how you can achieve similar functionality using the command line. So to see the running processes, you can use task list command. So some filtering is helpful because the output is expected to very long. As you might have observed when using GUI version of this, while opening task manager, there are lots of processes running. So let's see, you can check all available filters by displaying the help page using task list / question mark. So it will display the help page of task list command. So like what extra flags you can use with that. So for example, you want to search for tasks related to ssd.exe. So this can be done with the command task list /fi. Then within inverted comma, we are searching image name eq ssd.exe. So which means image name equal to ssd.exe. Note that fi used to set the filter image name equals to ssd.exe, which I just told. Fi stands for filter image. So we can try that. Sorry, it's CLS. I have habit of using clear in Linux. So we can use task list. So you can see a lot of tasks were displayed. So now we can use filter image name equals to. So let's search for something else. Let's search for engine.exe. This is here. So now you can see it will only display image name matching engine.exe. So now with the process ID known, you can terminate any task using task kill command. Task kill /PID, you need to give the target PID. So as you can see, the PID is given here, this particular column, which stands for process ID. So let's see, what command would you use to find the running process related to notepad.exe? So we know that task list /filter image. Then within inverted comma, we will write image name equal to notepad.exe, then inverted comma close. Great. So what command can you use to kill the process with PID 1516? So we will use task kill /PID, and then we will just simply give the PID, and it will give the process ID with having PID 1516. So that was all about for the basics of Windows command line. So they intentionally omitted a few common commands as as they didn't see a real value of including them in the beginner room. So they have given some commands here as well, which is chkdsk. It checks the file system and disk volumes for errors and bad sectors. Then driver query displays a list of installed device drivers, which we saw earlier in the video. Then there is sfc scan now. It scans file system for corruption and repairs them if possible. Okay. So you can try more commands on your own. You can search for a list of more Windows command which are helpful in the uh, for testing and all. So let's see. There are two more tasks. Okay. So the command shutdown S can shut down a system. What is the command you can use to restart a system? Shut down R. Right. What command can you use to abort a scheduled system shutdown? Uh, Maybe shutdown /A abort. Yeah, that was correct. So that's it for this video. I will see you in next video. Till then, keep learning.